think that the government was involved somehow.
Oh, that's good to hear. I haven't been able to look at any stats like that.
But here's the problem. The government also admits that, or well, I don't know if government, but sources admit that every bit of our media has been infiltrated by sources that want to control the 9/11 story.
Well, yes.
And so we just don't hear anything. Now, every once in a while, something like this article from Fox slips through, and they were putting it out as a hit piece against Jesse Ventura
Right.
and the 9/11 truthers.
Yes.
But instead, they gave us a very valuable tool to keep chinking away at the armor.
Yes. Yeah, it's just there's just one other thing I want to mention real quick.
Go ahead.
I know it's kind of off the subject, but it's one of the things that just gets me just as pissed off is this chemical spraying they're doing up there. You know.
Mm-hmm. I haven't investigated that enough. I've got all kinds of skeptical thoughts about
Right.
that. But
Well, I've been doing a lot of studying on it the last few years, and it's pretty sickening. But I love your show, man, and
everybody says, how do you keep on the same subject for 3 years? And, well, it's been going on 9 years, and there are people far more dedicated than myself. But every one of us that even, involves somebody else in a conversation about it is doing their part.
yes.
And
I try. I'm a musician, songwriter, and an actor also, so I have the access to communicate with people.
Right on. By the way, did you hear my show a couple shows back where I had that the Barry Gibbs, where
Yes. I love that.
That was great. Freebies is the group that did it. Freebies.
Yes, that is excellent.
At freebies.com. I don't know how they did that voice so well, but that was one of the best parodies I've heard in a long time.
It was great. Anyway,
Well, thank
I love
you, caller.
your show, man, and I'd like to meet you sometime. And
Well, hey, you're welcome. Folks are welcome to come down to the show. We start setting up the studio at 4 o'clock before the show, and at 5 we go live, and the next one's on the 15th. There's room for plenty of people here. We used to have the Portland PDX Alliance, Portland, 9/11 Alliance, whatever you want to call it, meeting here for a while. Then they got bored of it, but or other things, people, lives change and so on.
Yes.
But we have plenty of room, and also, if you feel like you want to get involved and have your own message out there, it's time to come down and sign up at Portland Community Media and become a producer yourself.
yes, I've thought about it.
It's not that expensive. They do have some cost, like $60 for the basic course that gets you familiar enough to start your own work, and I think $50 a year, and that's pretty cheap because they figured this show just for the quarter is about $6,000 worth of airtime.
Yes, it is.
And that's free to me, $6,000. Here you go, Bill.
I have a close friend who used to produce a show on there named Timothy Herman.
Oh yes, I remember Tim Herman doing infotainment.
Yes, very close friend of mine, and so I've learned a bunch from him.
I still see him every once in a while with that other guy. Can't remember his name.
Yeah. Mr. System.
Yeah, that's him.
Hey, well, listen, Bill, love talking to you, man, and keep up the good work.
Right on. We got another 14 minutes left. Are there any more callers?
All right, rock and roll.
Okay, thank you for calling. And one more call. Send it. Hello.
Hello,
Yes.
am I there?
Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. It's just an overall statement on just the 9/11 thing and just in general issues that are going on in the world. You can just see the overall trend of where everything's going. So I guess it's more than just the 9/11. It's kind of a little bit. It's everything. I don't care what it is. Agricultural, religious, however you want to look at it. Everything kind of has a kind of the same type of curve to it. So
Heading in a direction that you can point at?
More like an exponential curve when you get past the point of no return type of thing is what I'm talking about, and I just don't think.
Yeah, well, don't get too depressed.
Oh no, I'm not. Oh no, but ultimately it's leading somewhere real fast. It's just
I'm trying not. I get overwhelmed with the 9/11 stuff, and I would get overwhelmed if I started paying attention to everything else too. But what boils down to is everybody becomes his own expert on what field of interest he enjoys, and pretty soon we activists have it all covered.
Oh yeah, like you say,
Well,
the information that's coming out now that you were just discussing, how it, like you say, just gives us something more to pick at the facade that they just so kind of, I guess, hastily in some areas just threw up, and it's just all falling apart. So, and everybody's going to see what our government did, and they're going to realize just all the bad things that have been going on for so many years, and
well, I hope so.
And that's the thing. I think that's the reason why they're getting ready for it with all these FEMA camps and whatever else they've been doing.
That's what it looks like. But, a lot of these things have been averted by our agitation, especially a lot of those readiness drills that they have in these different cities. Those have been canceled because the city has been alerted ahead of time that those are happening, and people get up in arms. Well, we've got another call, so I want to thank you for calling, and we'll go to the next call. We only have a few minutes left.
All right, bye.
Thank you very much. Next call. The next call is not there. Well, hey, Mike is here.
Hey, Bill. Good to see you again.
And we're going to continue talking about some more about what's going on with this.
I wanted to talk about the Fox article, and I think it's called like a partial admission. So many people know about 9/11 and Building 7 that this has put out a partial cover story. Of course we knew about it that day. We were kind of talking about it. The firefighters, we knew about it.
Well, you saw in that clip that we played, firefighter after firefighter and the police, they'd get back, it's coming down, and then, of course, the news reporter that got the report about it being brought down. Were you sure it was brought down? Yes, brought down. Fire department said so.
So what if it's a partial admission so they can say, well, yeah, we knew the building was controlled demolition all along. That was an option.
But the others were really from the airplanes.
Right.
Yeah, and this got damaged. We wanted to save lives, so we brought it down. Okay, we got another phone call, so go ahead. You're talking to Mike and Bill now.
Okay, well, I didn't hear much. My phone went dead, sort of. This is Peter. I talked with you once or twice before.
Okay, go ahead.
I could mention that I agree with your other callers that this is all connected to the New World Order, which is huge.
Yeah, and watch that Jason Burmis that I talked about earlier.
Invisible Empire.
Yeah.
And it's so huge that, 911 is like nothing in comparison, some would say. I think that 911 is inexcusable. That's what I believe at this point in time.
You mean an aberration, or?
The 911 conspiracy is inexcusable.
Oh, inexcusable, okay.
Inexcusable.
Right, I misunderstood.
But a whole lot of other people are going to think that it's exactly excusable because it is so small in comparison to the New World Order.
Well, I think it's really huge by a different standard, and that's look what they've justified based on 9/11. They've justified demonizing the entire Muslim community and going after any nation or person that has any connection.
I agree. You do see my point, though, don't you? That people are thinking a few lies can be sacrificed for a greater cause.
It's called collateral damage,
and
a few thousand people can be killed.
That's exactly the way Ollie North did the Iran-Contra affair.
Yeah,
exactly. And that thinking still exists to this day. That's what we're fighting.
I'm trying to talk to the previous callers and answer their question. They're wondering, why is everybody so slow? I suggest that it's not that they're slow. They're just stubborn. They don't want to know.
Well, that's the general public, but the problem that we're having is a lot of, blockage occurs right at the information stage of the news where we can't get it out. We're lucky cable access has it. We're lucky that we have the internet.
Well, there's in the control room, there's a DJ who was on a commercial station in California. He was just telling me he was fired for talking about this on a late night show.
Oh, no.
So, it's hard enough to get a job in media.
I know,
and they will fire people or get rid of them or put you on a shift where no one can hear you.
Exactly.
And if you go through that, thank you, caller.
Half of the people know, yeah. Okay, bye.
I came on briefly at the end to talk about Invisible Empire because Jason he produced Loose Change, as you know, which maybe 100 million people have seen.
Oh, it was the most viewed movie on internet.
So he knows what he's doing, and this covers so many scandals. Iran-Contra, which is complicated, and he makes it easy. Jason's an everyman, an irregular guy, and he goes through just many, the Gulf of Tonkin.
I thoroughly enjoyed watching this. I really did.
Yeah, it's really down to earth for if you just want to. It's like a primer for the whole New World